especially that. That is like the way I have found a make to way money, a way to make money. Also, I've been educating myself into the healing arts somehow because I took like a training workshop to be a teacher, a yoga instructor. So I think LA gave me that, like the opportunity to become a yoga instructor, even though I didn't want to teach. I wanted to explore more of that. So I've been practicing. I've been practicing yoga every day for almost 2 years now, and opening up myself to that sort of knowledge too. So more of a internal knowledge that it goes hand by hand with my career, I think, because every actor needs a way to take care of their body, which is, as everyone knows, their instrument. So I've been doing that, commercial, instructing myself in yoga, and writing a lot lately, especially writing my own material, things that I've had in my head since I was in college and I never got to sit down and write them. I'm doing that now.
Before we move forward and speak a little bit about your writing and everything that you have been writing, and there is a very important theater play that you wrote, I think over a month ago. It was in a short in Hollywood festival in the Marilyn Monroe Theater. So we're going to talk about justice in just a few moments. But before we move forward on that, you mentioned something really interesting, which is you have been treating yourself, because I consider that maybe treating yourself, to yoga classes. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that and how the yoga clown was born?
Yes. Well, so when I got here to LA, I went online looking for acting jobs, and they were looking for male actors that could participate in a yoga video, an instructional yoga video. So I applied. They cast me because I had some experience from Venezuela. I took some yoga in Venezuela, in la Universidad Central de Venezuela. So I got casted as that, and the reward for being part of the video was to become a yoga instructor. They gave me the course. That was the payment for me to be in the video. And from that on, yoga has been a very important part of my life. I understood that we all need to do certain type of exercise that keeps us alive and healthy, whatever it is. It could be, running, whatever. But for me, I found it was yoga. It really resonated with me. So I've been practicing Ashtanga yoga, which is a more traditional type of yoga that has stayed the same for hundreds of years in India, and that it's becoming more popular here. But it's very traditional because it doesn't change. It's always the same sequence that you do every day. And I'm doing that now. And, I'm also a clown. I'm not just an actor, but comedy has, been somehow my forte. And I love clowning. I took several workshops in clowning since I got here. And I tried to combine them both, yoga and clowning. And I created this character, Yoga the Clown. I created it because first, as a yoga instructor, and I love photography, so Instagram is one of my favorite social media, I gotta say. Mm-hmm. I follow a lot of people that did yoga instructors, and I thought, this is not yoga though. Like, those beautiful pictures where people are like, showing off their incredible poses in a sunset. That is actually the opposite of what yoga is, I have found, according to my practice. It's, so much more internal. So I wanted to explore that because I also felt the need to post pictures of my poses. It's a contradiction, but we're humans, and I noticed that. And I wanted to explore that relationship between something very internal and also something that you want to make public and share with people, but that is so special as yoga is for me. So I created Yoga the Clown.
So how do you resonate with that character you created? And can you tell us the social media for Yoga the Clown? Because Yoga the Clown has its own social media and your own.
I wanted to, because I saw myself posting a lot of pictures of his character in my personal Instagram, and I said, let's open a profile for him. So he has his own profile, and it's Yoga the Clown, on Instagram, and it resonates with me because it's my way of exploring my personality and dealing and how to deal with what yoga is in this modern world in the Western society. So it is a naive approach to yoga. Like I want to pretend that I am the most knowledgeable, but that's such a lie because yoga is really difficult. You have to have had years of experience studying it to call yourself a yoga instructor. I am not a yoga instructor, but Yoga the Clown is. He wants to show some of his yoga knowledge, but it comes out as a clown. It's clumsy. He doesn't really know, and it's supposed to be funny. And it's the truth of me and my relationship with yoga explored by that character.
So you mentioned a few moments ago, besides giving us Yoga the Clown social media, go ahead and give yours so people that are listening to us through Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, through iHeart.com, and the apps for Android and iPhone, so people can start following Mauricio and getting to know you a little bit better and everything you're doing and you will do in Los Angeles. What's your Instagram?
Well, thank you. My name is Mauricio Gomez Amoretti, and my username it's a combination of that. It's Mago Amoretti. They ask me if I'm a magician because Mago means magician, but it's not. It's just my name is Mago of Gomez and Amoretti.
Well,
Amoretti.
In a certain way, you're a magician because you are acting, directing, writing. You are a clown, and you're going for yoga to be a yoga instructor. So you are an art magician, right?
Well, I like to consider myself, I do commit a lot of time to explore the human power, let's call it somehow. All what we do as human beings really amaze me, and I think that's the most important thing about anything. It's us humans and our relationships with each other. That's it.
That's pretty awesome what you mentioned. Mauricio, I have a very important question for you. Yes. Do you see yourself bringing that character to any of this famous circus that go around the United States, and they have been in international tours? Is there something up related to that in your career?
Well, yes. In year 2015, I think, or maybe earlier, I auditioned for Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas. They were asking for self-tapes. I sent in my tape, and among hundreds of them, they called 40 people from all over U.S. and some other parts of the world to come audition to Las Vegas in that year. And I came down to Las Vegas, and I auditioned, and they picked me among all the 40 to belong to what they call a database. They have a database where they get their artists from. So I belong to that, and you're on hold with them until they need you, and they can ask you to audition or whatever. And I think that was very important in my life because I realized that I was actually good for clowning. It made me prove myself that it wasn't a dream just. I came down and I proved it in one of the companies that I admire the most ever, which is Cirque du Soleil. So that clown stayed with me, and actually it's not too active. I tried to make it active with this social media that I'm telling you about and Yoga the Clown. Also, I'm starting to write a solo show with his character. It's kind of like a monologue. And I'm in the works with Yoga the Clown. So probably next year somehow I'll get to it. Yes.
Will you bring that show to the Short and Sweet Hollywood Festival that took place a few weeks ago?
Yes.
At the Marilyn Monroe Theater?
What I brought there was a short play that I wrote, which is Justice. Is that your question?
Well, I was about to ask you that question about justice, but I was talking about that in your goals maybe for next year. Will you be bringing Yoga the Clown monologue show to that short and sweet festival?
I see. Yeah. Well, I love the festival. My experience in the festival was amazing. But it's a short play festival.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be 10 minutes long.
Okay.
And with Yoga, I think I want to explore him in a longer way. So I think I'm gonna do like a monologue or like a whole full show, like an hour. I think. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Now, going back to Justice, which you already mentioned,
Yeah.
that was a play that you wrote. Can you tell us more about that play and what it meant to
Yes.
you writing it? Because you had in that play Maria Elena Heredia, which she was a very important guest in Artistic Spot a few weeks ago, and we say hi to her. We send her a big hug and kiss. She's an amazing actress and human being in person. So can you tell us a little bit more about Justice and what is Justice about?
Yes. Well, I wrote Justice last year. A group of actors from Venezuela, we got together and created something called the Little Room Collective. And we put together a show with 4 short plays. And for that show, I wrote a play about Venezuela because back then, everything that was happening with the people and the National Guard, all the protests, the hundreds of years of days protesting on the streets, and all the very sad killing of students was happening back then. And well, of course, being outside, you just have the information that it's out there to see what's going on. And I read a lot of testimonies of the mothers of the students that were killed. And I thought they were devastating, and they were also very inspiring because they had the courage to go out there and tell the people the very intimate feeling of losing a child and the injustice this was. So I wanted to create something because it was pressing my chest, and all of us as Venezuelans, yes, outside of Venezuelans, we were, well, saddened about what was happening. Yes. So I created a short play about someone that is killed in one of these protests. It's not an easy play. It's very dramatic. But it's very simple too. It's just 3 characters giving their testimony about this incident. I tried to make it a little poetic because what I wanted to show in this piece was the feeling of loss and sadness of losing someone that was fighting on the streets, doing something for your country. Yes.
So how did that play? What were the results that play had in this festival? Can you tell us a little bit about how did it go, the reception of the audience at the Marilyn Monroe Theater? I think that was back pretty much a month ago, right, Mauricio?
Yes. Yeah, more or less it was a month ago. And I'm so grateful to have been in that festival, really. We made it to the finals. It was a competition throughout the weeks. It was 4 weeks of competition, and we made it to the final day. And we were the only dramatic piece. The rest of them were light comedies because, the spirit of the festival is called short and sweet because they're short plays and they tend to be upbringing, yes, like light comedies or stuff like that. But I wanted to show it because it's in English. First, I wrote it in English because I wanted to put the message out there of what was going on in, yes, our country to the market that we're in. To call it something, it's not the best word, market, but to the audiences that we have access now and in LA. And I did so, and I'm very happy because everyone that saw the play that was not from Venezuela really felt touched by it. Everyone, that's what people kept saying. Like they came to us, to all of us, the 3 actors and me, and congratulated us because because they felt, how terrible it is to go through the loss of someone that you love. And I think that was my point with it. For